Welcome to Advisor Talk with Frank LaRosa. Brought to you by Elite Consulting Partners, it's the only podcast offering unfiltered guidance and direct advice for all things concerning financial advisors, RIAs, and the practitioners in the wealth management business. Learn more and subscribe today at eliteconsultingpartners.com/podcast. And now, here's your host, Frank LaRosa.
Hey everybody, welcome to Advisor Talk with Frank LaRosa. I am your host, and as always, joined here by my co-host, Executive Vice President of Elite Consulting Partners, Stacey Frank.
Hey everyone, happy to be back once again.
We got a, I don't know if this is going to be a hot mic conversation or I'm just hot.
Hot-minded.
Hot-minded, yeah. I don't mean that in the because I got a new sport coat that I love.
Hot and bothered? That would be dangerous.
Hot and pissed? I don't know.
Hot and bothered.
Anyway, so for those of you joining us, it's going to be an interesting one, not really a long one. And I just want to get something off my chest. And, we appreciate you coming on, those that are new here. It's called Advisor Talk because we just basically talk about stuff that is on people's minds.
Yeah, keep it real.
Today.
Real and raw.
There is no scripts. We just talk about what's going on. This is all we do. This is our life. Our goal and our purpose is to provide, at least this podcast, is to provide great content for advisors that can help you at some point down the road. So, are you ready?
I'm ready.
This is not going to come as a surprise to Stacey because she knows me. We work closely together. I've been talking to advisors and who have big dreams, right? They have big goals and they want to achieve these grandiose things. And then I try to, and they're going after business owners and they want wealthy clients and all this other stuff. And that's fine. That's awesome, right? I think you should. But then we're going through a process of making a move, and I call them at like 5:30, and they're like done working for the day, right? And I don't understand. Because if you're trying to attract business owners work beyond 5:30. Successful business owners work all the time. They grind. That's why they're successful. And what frustrates me, and this is maybe I'm just getting something off my chest. What frustrates me with people in life in general, not just financial advisors, is big talkers. What's the term in Texas? All hat, no cattle.
All hat, no cattle.
All hat, no cattle.
I haven't heard that one in a while.
Big talkers about visions, goals, dreams, and all this other stuff. And I work with this kind of client, that kind of client. And then when I look at what they actually do, they're like 9 to 5. Right? And if you're trying to attract wealthy clients, you have to be around them and do the things that they do so you can talk the same language as them. And if you're talking to a really successful business owner and they find out that you're like, punching the clock at 5 o'clock,
right,
they're going to lose
respect.
Job. Yeah,
it's a job, not a career.
Well, it's a career, but you're not like grinding like they're grinding, right? They're not really going to they might think that you're smart, but they might not really respect you if you're not grinding, especially if you look at some of the business owners that are in their 60s and late 60s, early 70s that grew up in a different period of time where it was all about that, right? And the money came secondary and it was about purpose. It was about doing your job and working for your family and all these things.
And always being available for your clients at all times of the day.
And I just get frustrated because I don't see that anymore, right? I don't see, like when you were I'm looking at the camera here. So by the way, if you're listening to our podcast, we have a YouTube channel, Advisor Talk with Frank LaRosa. So you need to go look at it. When I was an advisor early on as a trainee, and if you were an advisor today and you've been in this business for a long time, you started off cold calling, making calls, grinding all the time. Right? You didn't stop at 5 o'clock because if you stopped at 5 o'clock, your manager fired you, right? That's what made you successful. So now you're doing $1 million or $2 million and you're really successful, but you're talking about being a $6 million producer, but you're still working like someone that's doing $500,000. Don't take this the wrong way. After 25 years in the business.
But that's fine if that's the lifestyle business that you want.
But don't talk about building tripling your business.
An enterprise.
You're tripling your business, but you're working in a business owner's mind, spare time, like part-time. I look at someone that works 9 to 5 as a part-timer. No offense. Sorry. It just is what it is. If you love your business and you love working with clients and you love your family, then putting everything you have into your business solves and helps all those things, right? And I see too many advisors and I worry about some of the younger, successful advisors. They have maybe younger kids, they have little kids, and they're using their kids as an excuse, right, to go home early, right? Or versus make another phone call, introduce yourself, go to an event where you're networking, go meet with an accounting firm so you can network with them. Like, those are the things that got you to $2 million, right? So you start stopping doing the things that made you successful. So basically stop talking about being a $6 or $7 or $8 million producer and building an enterprise when your effort isn't there. And that's what frustrates me. Ed Milet is sort of a mentor of mine, not sort of, is a mentor of mine. He talked about something a couple of weeks ago about he's starting to look at people now like it's a black and white movie.
That's interesting.
Meaning turn the volume off, right, of what someone's saying. A big talker. Turn the volume off and just watch what they do. Watch how they act. And you'll learn a lot about somebody that way, just watching what they do.
And are their words matching their behaviors?
Well, that's the whole point.
That's the biggest thing.
Right.
Are they talking out of both sides of their mouth? That's a big pet peeve of ours, right? Are you doing what you say and telling everybody that you're actually doing or want to achieve?
The other thing, I mean, look, this can apply. This whole theory applies to people that you hire. If you're building an enterprise and you're bringing on, whether it's leadership, right? Probably leadership more than anything. Watch what they do, not what they say. Everyone can be a good talker. Everybody can
Everyone
sell
has great
a story.
ideas.
Oh yeah, they can sell a story and be passionate about it.
The wish list.
Yeah, and then they leave at 5 o'clock.
Right.
Oh, so really you don't want to be that successful if you're leaving at 5 o'clock, because there's always something to do. If you're building a business, there's always something to do. And I'm not saying work 18 hours a day or 16 hours a day all the time, but what I'm saying is I think that there's a comfortableness. Is that a word?
Well, a disconnect.
Yeah, disconnect.
Complacency.
A complacency that I'm starting to see because the market, essentially since 2012, has gone nothing but up like that, right? And it's made advisors that maybe haven't been in the business more than 20 years think that they're smarter than they are and think that they worked hard enough, right, to get to that. And I'm afraid that one day they're going to wake up and realize, oh, it wasn't all me. I'm not that great, right? There's a level of humility I think we're losing in the industry about how great your practice really is. And then you want these multiples. Oh, I want 15 multiples, 20 multiples, because I have a great business and all this other stuff, right? Sorry, I'm just sort of going off here because we talk to advisors all week long, and a lot of them are like, well, I want to move because I want to build this great thing, right? Or, which is awesome, and we'll help them with that. Or they stay because they want to build something great. And again, I try calling them at 4 o'clock in the afternoon and they left for the day because they want to go stand on the sidelines and watch their kid hold a lacrosse stick or whatever.
And that's fine if that's what their business goals say. If that's what you say you want to do, then do that. Then you're being honest with yourself.
Right. That's my point.
The point.
That's my point. I'm talking about the guy that tells me that he wants to triple his business and build a large enterprise and sell it for 20x. Okay, then why are you at a soccer practice at 4 o'clock in the afternoon on a Wednesday? Like, how does that meet the goal that you're doing, right? So Dan Sullivan, who's a business, he writes a lot of books, a bunch of different books. Who Not How is a great book, right? But one of the books that he recently published is 10x is easier than 2x. I might have talked about this before, but this is the principle, right? And the idea is you have to have huge, lofty goals. And by having huge, lofty goals, it forces you to look at every activity in your life in the lens of that lofty goal. Is that activity that you're about to do, big or small, going to help you achieve that massive 10x goal, right? And the odds are the bigger the goal, the fewer things that are going to fit into those activities that qualify. Versus having a small goal, a lot of things can qualify, right? Qualify to help or actually not to hurt. So they were using an example of a long distance marathon versus a short distance marathon, right? So a long distance marathon, you can get away with a couple of stops and starts. A short distance marathon, every stop you make,
every inch matters.
Every inch matters.
Right.
It's exponential.
Right.
And so my point is, I work with these advisors that want to have these huge plans because they see everybody else selling for 20x and this, that, and the other thing. And then I call them about a great opportunity and they're like, hey, I got to call you back. I'm on the soccer field. Okay. Is your daughter going to be a professional soccer player?
Well, and that's okay if that's what they value. But if what they're saying... I know you keep saying that. My point is... Yeah, but it's the truth.
But my point is, I'm talking about the guy. That doesn't frustrate me, right? It's the disconnect between what you say and what you do. That's what's frustrating me.
That's where we agree. The disconnect.
Where guys are telling me they want to do this massive thing and then they just don't. And then they're blaming the firm. They're blaming their assistants. They're, blaming the technology sucks here. And that's why I'm going to leave because it's holding me back. Oh, really? The fact that you leave at 3:00 every day is not holding you back. Sorry.
Watch what you're doing.
Sorry. I love this business. And the opportunity to be a financial advisor is huge to build there's a reason why PE firms are coming into the business, right? And buying these
left
practices
and right.
Because they know it's like a lottery ticket, right? It's like a lottery ticket if you build a good practice. So why not put everything you have in? Again, if you want to be a lifestyle business and you want to do that and that's cool, that's fine. Just don't talk about building some massive business, right?
That's the difference.
Right. So anyway, I just feel like this might piss off some branch managers out here, but I just feel like there's a lack of leadership in the industry. There's a lack of leadership. There's a lot of leaders that are afraid to tell their advisors, get off your ass, get to the office, actually go to the office and work and do the things that are going to help you grow your practice. I just feel like there's massive opportunity. There's so much wealth in the industry. I guess this is maybe some of it.
Yeah, and that's the truth.
There's so much wealth in this country that you're missing it. There are practices that are growing that can be so much bigger if you just put in a little bit more effort. Ed Milet wrote a book called The Power of One More. Just work one more hour, right? Call one more business owner, right? Go to one more center of influence meeting. Take one more accounting owner, practice owner out to lunch. Do a retirement event. Do one more seminar. Do one more podcast. That's the power of this thing. And stop complaining, well, I can't do that because, my wife wants me home at 6:00 for dinner. I'm not.
Too many I can'ts. Well,
too many I can'ts.
It's the I can't
right.
theory.
Then shut up and stop talking about growing your business at 30% a year. It's not going to happen.
Right.
That's my point. Look, I love everybody. I love the business. I love working with financial advisors. I see the opportunities that are in front of advisors and with great practices. The technology is great. The efficiencies in the business, right? No more paper. The amount of wealth that's been created, where as a financial advisor, you can make, I'm saying that you can make a lot more money, and it's not about the money. It's not about you making the money. I want to make sure that's clear. It's what you can do with a more successful business. Think about if you made more money, how you could help your staff, right? And they're making $65,000 a year, $75,000 a year, $80,000 a year. How much would you change your life if they were making $150? Think about that. Isn't that worth it? Doing a little bit more work, right? Hiring another person, hiring This is like hiring someone new into the business, giving some kid a chance to come into the business, give him a decent salary, give him a runway to succeed, teach him or her, right? But it's going to cost you to do it. Well, if you're growing your business and you're making $1 million more, you have more money to do that. Charitable work, right? If you grow your business, you have more disposable income to do good things. People want to know, like, why do you grow this business? Why do you want to have the biggest, the firm in the industry, right? Yes, part of it is to drive revenue and make more money, but the making the money is the ancillary benefit of what we're really trying to do internally. Aside from helping more financial advisors in the industry make better decisions about their moves, what drives us is giving people that join our firm an opportunity to build a career and help their families, an opportunity to maybe make more money than they ever thought they could make, right?
Right. The opportunity here is massive.
Right.
There's so much opportunity and leverage with our clients, and we're changing lives. So
right. So I look at if we can make more money, we'll make a little bit more money, which is nice. I can maybe buy a couple more jackets, maybe not a Ferrari, but I won't tell my wife that. She's not listening to this.
No more Ferraris, right?
But the truth of the matter is, it allows us to go out and hire more people, to give more people an opportunity to come here, build a business that they maybe never thought they could build. And that's the mindset that you have to think about. It's not about going from $1 million to $4 million and how much more money you're gonna have in the bank, right? At that level, if you're making $1 million a year, meaning making $1 million, the difference between $1 million and $1.5 million, it doesn't matter, right? But that $500,000, if you can take some of that and increase your staff's compensation, bonus pools and different things like that, that is that can be life-changing to them. Because maybe at $80,000, they're just getting by. Right? But at $120,000 or $130,000, $140,000, $150,000, now they can actually start maybe enjoying themselves a little bit more, not worrying about when they go on a vacation. Like
a little more comfort.
Right. This
is
the kind of stuff that I see out there, that there's opportunities if you're just willing to work a little harder like you did when you were trying to grow your practice. You want to grow a big business, that's awesome. But your activity and your effort need to match. That's my message here. I'm a little bit more calm.
Good message.
Thank you. I was a little bit hot.
The bothered part is gone now.
I feel good. I feel like a therapy session. I guess
time in the chair.
Yeah, right? Well, you do have your master's degree in psychology.
I do.
So
everyone gets time in the chair.
Time in the chair. Anyway, listen, I hope that helps. I hope that if you are listening to this, maybe it resonates with you. Maybe you think I'm an asshole.
Maybe we put you on your heels.
Whatever, right? Maybe I got to go get therapy. I don't know. But anyway, I hope this helped. And if anything, if you know someone that you should be listening to this, because this applies to everybody, right? I tell this to my kids.
All businesses.
Give this to someone that you think it might help. Just help them motivate and get some perspective. I talked to someone today, as a matter of fact, and they were complaining about, well, I don't want to do this because it's going to take me this long to even see any real result and blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, if you go into law or you go into the medical industry or you start a business as a financial advisor, it's going to take you 10 years to really get to a point where you're doing really well, right? And so you have to have that mindset when you start whatever it is that you're doing. I was sort of giving him some I'll just say life advice, right? And that's really the attitude. It's just work hard, keep your head down, and work harder than you think you need to work, because you always have more energy in you. You always have more
push the limit,
play up. Right. Well, you were talking about, I know we were almost over, but this is a great point.
Oh.
Because this is about effort, right? So you may not know, but Stacey was a Division I tennis player. And soon to be state champion paddleball person. Pickleball. Sorry.
Different.
Okay. Pickleball.
You're going to piss off the pickleball people.
Pickleball.
If you say paddleball.
By the way, I'm all for pickleball. It's great.
Well, anyway, you can't turn off the competitive.
But describe the difference between like a Division I tennis player and like a Division III tennis player.
Yeah, it's the level of grit, level of grind, commitment, what I used to do when nobody was watching, hitting tennis balls against the garage door, that's boring. But there was something exciting about that because I knew it would get me more consistent, more disciplined when I was actually on the court. And that was bazillions of years ago, although I still compete today because it's part of who you are. And if you have that drive, that competitive nature in you, that it's really about discipline and passion for something that you're doing. And if you have that in you, it's not a job. It's not work. It's just something that is, causes elation and excitement. And so, put that into your business. It is hard to turn that stuff off, but I would always play up. I would always find people better than me, and sometimes guys for that matter. People say, you're playing with the men. I'm like, well,
I'm going to crush them.
I just achieving.
Oh, little old me.
Yeah, little
she kills
old me. Them. Comes out of nowhere. But that's the point, is that whether it's business or a sport or something with your family, go the extra mile. What are you doing when nobody's watching to achieve whatever it is? Have discipline, have passion, and make it so it's not a job. It's your livelihood, whether it's tennis or business. It doesn't matter.
But you made a point about playing up, right? Mm-hmm. And as a financial advisor, because it started off about, basically going after business owners. As a financial advisor, you want to play up. You want to be around successful people that have a different work ethic. And in order for you to play up, you have to be around them during those periods of time.
Right.
You have to be on calls with those people at 8 o'clock at night. Just, hey, I'm just thinking about you. Maybe they're a prospect, maybe they're a client. They're not going to be bothered. A successful, I'll say wealthy, a successful client is not going to be bothered that you call them at 8 o'clock at night. They're going to be impressed that you're working at 8 o'clock at night and thought about them. And that goes a long way.
Yeah, well, you have to run with those circles. You have to talk the talk, walk the walk. You have to be that. You have to become that person. Walk the walk.
Right.
Be the ball.
Yeah, be the ball. Anyway, the last thing was that, and you made a comment about winning, right? So Ed Milet has this saying, and I think that some advisors maybe lose this because they get a little bit complacent. But the saying is, winning is more fun than fun is fun. I love that.
Well, when you're wired like how I think we are, type A people all over the country, when you're wired that way, then winning is fun. Winning is fun. Winning is what drives you. It's not like I'm better than you. It just that's the characteristic we have.
Most, they do all these studies about uber successful people, and most of them are successful because of the addiction to the build and the grind, not necessarily the end result.
Right. Addiction to the journey.
It's addiction to the journey. That's why there are some, I'll say, successful people that they sell a business that they put their blood, sweat, and tears into for 30 years or 40 years. They sell their business. They don't do anything else. And a lot of times they really get depressed. They go into a dark place because they thought, I'm selling my business for $50 million. I've made it. I'm going to be happy. And what they don't realize is that's not what made them happy. What made them happy was getting in every day, working with their employees, working with clients, solving problems, using their brain. That's what made them happy. And so what I'm trying to tell you is be connected to that. Be connected to driving. That will make you happy. And then, it translates into your home life because you're happy. You're feeling great about yourself.
It's all connected.
You close a big client. Well, you feel awesome about that. You're energized. My answer then is go get another one, right? Go call somebody else just like that and say, hey, John, I was thinking about you because I just brought on a new client just like you. And this was the problem they had, and here's how I solved it. I would love to find out if that's something that you're struggling with right now, right?
Right. This situation made me think of you.
Right.
There's that connection.
Right.
That connection piece. It's tremendous.
But that's a 24/7 thing, right? And so you just got to think about that stuff. Anyway, so that's my rant. I hope it helps.
Great message.
Thanks for listening to me. I feel like I was a therapy session.
Well, we
where
said
everybody
it's
listens.
raw.
Right.
It's real and
anyway,
raw.
Do what you say you're going to do. Action speaks loudly. People are watching even when you think they're not watching. There's massive opportunities for money out there. And take this as an opportunity to go get yours. take this as an opportunity to go build the business that you always thought you could build, and then think about all the great things that you can do with the success and the results that come from that. That's the message here. So thank you very much. If you have any questions, you want to talk about this, you want to talk about what a lunatic Frank is, you can call Stacey at what number?
856-816-6322. It's passion. That's what it is. Just passion.
See, that's what I was trying to tell Kim. It's passion. I'm not yelling. It's passion,
right.
Kim.
I'm just yelling hockey. Right. Just yelling business.
I'm just yelling football. I'm just yelling business.
I'm yelling at your kid.
Right, exactly. So anyway, thanks a lot. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to go to my Instagram channel, which is franklarosa.elite. We're at almost 190,000 followers. I'm trying to get to 200,000 followers soon. And then we might be doing some things with that, which I'm really excited about. Anyway, and thanks for joining. We'll see you again.
Have a good one.
Thanks for listening to Advisor Talk with Frank LaRosa. If you're looking for more advice or solutions on any topics in the financial services industry, or you just want to subscribe to our podcast, head on over to eliteconsultingpartners.com/podcasts.